Welcome to Michigan Reimagined, presented by T.A. Forsberg and Wagoner Financial. And here's your host, Chris Buck.
We are on the cusp of the newest season of the award-winning Capital City Film Festival. Here to share this year's details are the festival event director, Emma Selby, co-program director, Jason Gabriel, and president of the board, Samantha Lee. Congratulations on the promotion, Samantha.
Thanks so much.
I don't think you were president of the board last year.
No, always getting it.
Well deserved, though.
Yeah.
Very well
Be
deserved.
careful what you ask for, right? Excellent. Well, for those who are the uninitiated, remind us of how long has your organization been putting the CCFF on?
This is 15.
15,
Right? We
milestone
incorporated
year.
in 2010. It's been a wild ride since.
Okay.
Including COVID, when we did drive-in years. And, we have been doing a festival every year since.
What made the decision? How did the decision get made to have a film festival in Lansing?
Okay, I'm going to give you the proper story.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, because everybody has an origin story of the film festival. Mm-hmm. I made films with other people, and together we were like, there needs to be an amazing showcase for local films. And we have carried that tradition absolutely to the 15th year. We have features and shorts across the block that are Michigan films. That tradition and our origin were true.
However, you do films that are
international films,
right,
across the globe.
Got it.
Right, there's amazing French and Korean and all sorts of films.
We've had submissions from over 72 countries from our films.
And this year we're showing over 140 films.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Over what stretch of time?
11 days, April 2nd through 12th. We've got a couple of break days in there. Monday and Tuesday, our team takes a break so we can all recoup for the second weekend. But we have 140 films. Some of them are feature-length films. We've got everything from documentaries to short films. We've got a block of animated shorts. We've got all kinds of things going on.
Music events, poetry events. So it's not just, it's media across the board.
Right on. Okay. So we're going to jump all around here. So if I'm a listener hearing about this and I have never experienced it before, I might be daunted by 11 days of 140 movies. Like, what am I committing to? That must be really expensive to attend. I can't make all of that. In a nutshell, how can listeners find the run of show? And then what's the process for them to buy tickets? They're, multi-movie passes. They show up for a day. How does that work?
Yeah, we have a few different options for people. The best way to stay updated on what we're doing is to head to our website, ccff.co. And all of our information is on there. Our schedule is on there with everything you need to know about all the different events and films. If you aren't sure if this is your first time attending and you don't know, you're kind of feeling it out, you can buy tickets at the door for almost every event. Typical film screenings are $5 at the door. Cash or card is fine. And you can also pre-purchase tickets for some specific events like our red carpet premiere party, like our closing night film. There's certain events that you can pre-purchase too. But if you want to experience it all, the best way to do it is by getting an all-access pass. It's only $50, and it gets you into everything for all 11 days. So that includes the red carpet premiere party, which that ticket alone is $20 ahead of time or $30 at the door. It includes the after party at the Avenue this year, which is going to be a super fun time. It includes all of our poetry events, all of our concerts. It includes all of the films, literally 140 films for $50.
That's something we really pride ourselves on, being accessible to the community. We're a 501c3, so this is really why we're doing this, to make it accessible to anyone, no matter what form of life you come from.
Yeah, right. Okay. So now Lansing doesn't have a theater. So where do you guys put this show on?
Well, I want to tell you, we've rediscovered theater spaces as we've done this.
Okay.
And we recreate them as well. This year, the Central United Methodist Church is one of the first screens that was in Lansing in the 1920s.
Okay.
Right? The Fellowship Hall. And we are carving that back out to be a theater, a beautiful theater space. All right. And that addition with Stage 1 and I-5 expansion.
Yes, the Impression 5 expansion.
Thank
building.
you.
Okay.
These are our main venues. We also are in other places. The Robin Theater is an amazing partner. we love these places, and we love to rediscover the heart of a new place.
Right on. Because back in the day, or before the pandemic and everything, I remember hearing stories, because I didn't attend at that time, where you would find just big open spaces, talk to landlords, whether it's empty buildings or spaces that aren't being utilized to their potential, or it's after hours, and you would physically turn these places into screening sites.
A little bit of our specialty, we reactivate spaces.
Right.
And that continues.
Yeah, so this year with those venues that we have, we were with the Central United Methodist Church last year as well, and they have been really great partners with us. It's fun to get to go into a building like that that's very historic in Lansing and turn it into an experience that people have never had in there. And with the Impression 5 expansion, it used to be the Surveyors Museum. And years ago, we were actually in there when it was the Surveyors Museum, but now we've got a little more space as it's kind of the building's in a transition period there. So that's an empty space that we are activating while it's kind of in the middle of a few different transformations. And Stage One, they've been doing really great things for the performing arts community here. So yeah, it's fun to because even these places that they have been stages or they have been performance areas, we kind of go in and CCF-ify them. I struggle every time I say that, and I still insist on saying it. But really turning them into a new experience for everybody who's entering the space. So even if you feel like you're really familiar with Stage One or something like that, we would encourage you to come and check it out, because it'll be different than you've ever seen it before.
Right. And it's such a benefit to the landlords and the owners of these buildings. So whether it is a space that's not currently being activated and maybe either dilapidated or not being used in its full potential, we bring everything in. We bring the screens, we bring the lights, we bring the decorations, and turn that into a theater. Or if it is something that is an existing performance space, it is still a benefit to the landlords, because we are bringing in a brand new audience.
Sure.
Last year, we had over 5,000 attendees to the festival that has eyes and ears on their space and maybe not have visited in another format.
Right. So if it's an established entity, they bring new people in to observe what they've already got. If it's a vacant space, it's maybe up for creative reuse or up for sale or for lease or something like that. You also get fresh eyes of complete strangers observing the space for the first time.
Exactly.
Okay. So now you've got a lot of locations where events are happening. I would imagine on ccff.co, you're going to find in the run of show where to show up.
Absolutely. Yes. Every event will tell you which location it is and what time it is. Because we know it's a lot to keep track of. We've got our giant spreadsheets of everything that's going on, but it'll be easy to access on our website.
Makes sense. And if you're struggling to find the $50 to pay for the all access pass, I would encourage you to call my friends at Wagoner Financial. You like that segue? Are you ready to make smart financial decisions? Wagoner Financial offers a proven process for financial transformation, empowering individuals at all stages. Whether you're just starting out, nearing retirement, or anywhere in between, stop feeling unsure about your financial path. Wagoner Financial can help you undergo this financial transformation, so schedule a consultation today to discuss your individual needs and discover how Wagoner Financial can guide you by visiting wagoner-financial.com or call them at 517-853-3367.
And I will tell you, that's my financial firm, so highly recommend it.
They're wonderful people over there, no question at all. So All Access Pass will get you into all the doors of all the places. You've got a couple of special events. You've got 4 or 5 different venues. So I'd imagine if I'm listening to this and thinking about how I would want to spend those 11 days, is there a synopsis of each of these 140 films so I can kind of say, this interests me, that doesn't, that night doesn't, or I've got this band of time, here are all the things going on. Where do I want to, point my car?
So the schedule is pretty well organized, actually. It's got the venue, it's got the synopsis of the films. All of the feature films begin with the Michigan-made short, which is really fun. But there are a couple events that I guess I really want to make sure to invite people to.
Okay.
And I'm shortening a long, elaborate, intense schedule, right? But there are a few things close to my heart and recommendations, people. The top film that I recommend to people is Boys Go to Jupiter, which is a experimental animation feature with a really amazing voice cast, different than anything I've seen before, and I see a lot of movies, right? And it's something cross between the styles of a video game or an advertising campaign, right? It's taking a high pop color and washing it over a whole feature film that explores teenagers in Florida, right? This is not my normal land, but it was a really amazing watch. I recommend it to everyone. And the voice cast is just amazing all over the place.
Okay.
There are some Michigan features. One of them that I really want to make sure people see is called Kill Will. And that's absolutely, the DP is someone from Lansing, right? So we do want to encourage people to see Kill Will. That's on April 11th, which is a Friday. And then the day before on Thursday is the Fortnite Screening and Awards. This contest is 2 weeks, and people will make 10-minute shorts. This is the day that we're going to screen it and give away more than $5,000 in prizes.
Wow.
That's April 10th, right? And that's the Fortnite Screening and Awards. At least 35 teams are going to go around making movies in this span, right? Starting this Thursday.
Got it.
So it's an amazing event, and the energy in the room is undeniable. In fact, our history of giving the audience prize is based on a decibel meter. So bring your hurrahs.
Right on. Okay.
And on that note, too, if you aren't sure, if you haven't attended our film festival or other film festivals and you're not really sure where to begin, I really encourage you to find a shorts block that speaks to you.
They're so cool.
So a lot of times, you know, the things that we're watching are on our own or in a movie theater are those longer form feature length films. Whereas the short films have a lot of really interesting storytelling, a lot of heart. And I don't think that people often feel like they have access to watch really quality short films. And so if you're looking to explore those, the way that we screen short films is in blocks. So we group them based on topic or genre. Our other co-program director, Will Corbett, has worked really hard to kind of fit all of these together. So we have things like Just a Vibe shorts that are really about the ambient.
Unraveling sanity.
Unraveling sanity if you want to lose your mind a little bit.
Film in Motion. Or, I'm sorry, Pride in Motion.
Yep, all focused on the LGBTQ plus community. So there are really, really cool short films. And if you aren't sure where to start, check out our website, just kind of scroll through that schedule and look for blocks of short films that seem interesting to you and check them out.
Yeah, it's a sampler platter. You know, you get a little bit of everything, and if not one film isn't your vibe, then you have another one in short 10 minutes. You know, one of my favorite events is called Symphonic Cinema. So we take a pop culture film and we have a live band. I believe this year it's a 7-piece band that plays the live score to the film. So if you're a music lover and a movie lover, you get a mix of both and combine them. So Symphonic Cinema, that's one of my favorites.
And this year's Symphonic Cinema, the movie is Brother from Another Planet. And the live
Joe
band.
Morton.
Yeah.
Joe Morton classic.
We try to take a film that people know and love and then kind of add a new flavor to it by having live music scored alongside it. And that is a free event. And so people can join us on Sunday, April 6th at Central United Methodist Church for that free event to see the live music along with the classic film.
A transformational event.
It's so
right.
Cool.
If you've seen a movie like this 100 times, this is going to change everything you feel about the movie. Right? Having the band, I think is it Cash and the Loud Boys?
It is. It's Cash and the Loud Pack.
Oh, Loud Pack, thank
Yes.
you. They are going to change every impression you ever have of seeing live theater. Right? It's amazing. Right? I've been there every time. I recommend it to everyone.
Tremendous amount of work going on here. So you talk 501c3. I've got 3 folks here, obviously, who are knee deep in this and clearly passionate about the mission. How the heck are you guys organized? I mean, again, 501c3, but how big is your team that is kind of putting this together? And then kind of who do you need to kind of collaborate with to get these things put on, whether it's sponsors or the city, or you obviously talked about the landlords of the entities and stuff, but who's your team in general terms? And then who else do you partner with for like sponsorships or funding or whatever it takes? Just give us a little bit of dialogue on that.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about our team. So we have a planning committee of about, 25, 30 people who dedicate their time to the Film Fest every year. So we have people who are working to schedule our volunteers. We've got people who are making sure we have concessions everywhere. We have people who are watching every single movie that gets submitted to us and making a determination on it. We've got people who are organizing the poetry project. We've got people doing everything. So we've got this kind of dedicated core team of about 25 people who we meet on a weekly basis. And people, like we were talking about earlier, we just, off mic, we have so many meetings right now because there are just so many moving parts. But It's really great because it's a combination of people who have been involved for the entire 15 years and new people who are coming in every year to add a new perspective, to bring their skills to the table, which is really fantastic. And at the end of the day, the reason that the team works so well is because we have such highly skilled people in their own areas who all come together because they have a passion for making this event happen in Lansing. So people are bringing all different types of skills to the table. This is nobody's full-time job, but sometimes it takes up the amount of time. It's an additional full-time job. And we have just such an incredible team of volunteers as well. We cannot make the festival happen without volunteers, both ahead of time, during the festival, and afterward. Everything we do is so focused on our volunteers. We love our volunteers so much. They are the ones who are taking the tickets at the door. They are the people who are making your popcorn. They're the people who are running the projection to make sure that the movie is beautiful and sounds wonderful and all of that. So we truly couldn't do it without them. And if anybody's looking to get involved, we recommend volunteering, especially if you're like,
perfect time too.
If you don't know, if you don't know how to attend the festival or exactly what you want to do during it, the best way to do it is to volunteer. Agreed. Truly. You can go to ccff.co/volunteer and sign up, and volunteers also get a pass to attend the festival. So that's really a great way. Give us a few hours of your time, help us sell some popcorn, and then you can enjoy what else the festival has to offer.
It's a wonderful community.
Yeah, it seems like it.
And we
get what you give.
Exactly. And we really couldn't put on the festival without our partners. So in corporate sponsorships as well as grants and foundation sponsorships.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So like Emma said, we're a 501c3. We're 95% volunteered run, and we put on this huge festival every year where it costs a lot of money to bring in all the things that we need to bring in to make sure that everyone has a really elevated, spectacular time. So we're thankful to have great community partners, and we're always looking for more. We couldn't put on more this event without our sponsorships. So we're always looking for corporate sponsorships as well.
Right on. Okay. And they can find more out about that on the website too, right?
Yes.
ccff.co,
yes,
as we've mentioned before. Excellent. All right. So volunteerism, we got sponsorships. You guys, is this year's show? Obviously there's probably I's to dot and T's to cross, but as we get closer to the finish line, are you pretty stabilized now as to where things are headed?
We always say that we're ahead of the ball, and then we find out.
When do we say that?
Right.
Who says that?
When you're not around.
There's hubris in the moment. No. We're always very confident, and then the world turns and curveballs throw, and we make the best of it. And you know what? It's always amazing.
And for this year, we are in a good spot. I don't want that to sound like we're facing a particular challenge right now. But yeah, I think we've got this last month leading up to the festival is truly when things just kind of go crazy, and everybody's constantly working on this and that, and new ideas are being thrown all over the place on how to make things even better. So it'll be a lot of work for the next 6 weeks, but it's going to be worth it.
Wonderful. I have one additional topic before I turn it back over to you that I want to ask after I talk about my friends at Keller Williams. We all need a place to call home, and Chris Silker of Keller Williams Advantage and Team offers the expertise you're looking for. He's helped clients navigate the complicated world of real estate in mid-Michigan for over 10 years, providing the best information possible at the right time to empower the best decisions. Whether you're a first-time home buyer looking for a local expert to guide you from point A to point B, searching for an income property in the competitive Lansing market, right-sizing your life, or searching for your dream home, Chris Silker and the Advantage and Team is a name to trust in Greater Lansing real estate. Visit advantageandteam.com or call Chris Silker directly at 517-242-9251 today to find the home of your dreams. We rushed through the process that you have 140 films that you're going to show. But earlier in the conversation, you mentioned we had, I think, 83 countries represented in the submissions. Let's spend a few minutes talking about the process. How did you throw things out there to say, hey, Lansing's Film Festival is coming up if you want your film shown, because you're not playing Jaws and Close Encounters and The Godfather.
It's a big lift, honestly. So we do use a platform to get submissions in every year. And we get more than 500 films, 500 to 1,000 films come in. Our window for films to come in, right, our call for entries is from August to January. So that's when we actually start really hitting the pavement. And so we have a team of 6 programmers and 57 selection committee members, right? And that's because there's so many films.
Right.
These are all volunteers, right? Yep. So we don't want to bog everyone down, but we want them to put their best, find fans of these films. And each one of these selection committee represents part of our audience here in the community. So they vote things up. They vote things through. We come together. We find a program from these hundreds and hundreds of films from across the globe. We absolutely do always focus on our Michigan partners, our filmmakers, from our storytellers from the area.
Right.
We do love to focus that, and they deserve that focus. But this film schedule is a momentous thing to witness, right? There is something for everybody. I promise that can happen, right? You do look and you do find, right? And you pick. I'm going to see these things the first weekend, these things the second weekend. I know because I'm telling all the folks which week, a lot of folks coming in from town, which weekend should I come in, right? And there is some on the first weekend and some on the second, and they're picking their schedule now, and I love to see that.
Yes, and what we're really proud of is being able to bring these stories to Mid-Michigan and elevate the voices of some of these marginalized populations where they may not have other people in Mid-Michigan may not have a chance to be exposed to kind of these stories or learn from someone from these different cultures or places or backgrounds. And so we love doing that. And, that's definitely part of our mission as well.
Wonderful. And that just feels good, right? To be able to do that and broadcast someone's message. Because these things take a lot of energy to build, right? Because these are all, now are the films that people are going to experience in your film festival things that they will be able to eventually see on mainstream cinema, or are these tend to be kind of arts films that are reserved for these types of festivals, and you got to maybe find...
There's a mix there.
Okay.
Some of them will go on to become independent darlings.
Okay.
Right? But also we see films from last year they've now had their viral moment. They've raged across the internet and they're getting distributed. And so that's part of our goal, is for all these filmmakers to find their success, right? To find their audiences, and that's the part we're trying to help, right? So many people take their projects and they run in so many different directions, but we get films from other festivals, right? Oh, it just played at Sundance. Oh, it just played in Tribeca, right? We play those films. We play things that are new to everybody, world premiere status here. Right. And that's because Lansing is a burgeoning world-class city, right? So it's awesome to see it come together. And
it's always fun to see when a film that we've screened has success, has broader distribution, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. It's fun to see, like Jason said, sometimes we'll screen a film after it's been to a few of these other big festivals, or sometimes we're kind of the beginning of their festival run and they'll go on and do a bunch of things. Our closing night film from last year, Darla in Space, has now been picked up by distributors, and you can watch that on all the streaming platforms, which is super exciting for them.
You were part of that.
Yeah, and it's super fun, right? The filmmakers came out, and the main actress, she came out. We had a grand time with them, and they have talked about how being at the Capital City Film Festival really kind of gave them confidence and excitement to submitting to more festivals, to understanding what that looks like, to being in these communities. And, they joked about even moving to Michigan because they loved it so much.
Wow, there you go.
And that's huge for our community, for Mid-Michigan as well. When we think about, this is our 15th year, our 15th festival, we see other film festivals like Freep and Traverse City, they've shut down. They haven't been able to continue this path of bringing stories to their community. So to elevate that in Mid-Michigan and have our festival in Mid-Michigan and bring these stories to Mid-Michigan for 15 years is a huge feat. So we continue to push on and try to make the festival better and bring that to the people here.
Yeah, we love our community, and the only way that we can continue to put on the festival year to year is with the support of the community, people coming out, watching movies, attending parties, giving sponsorship, volunteering, all of that. We can't do it without that. Making films. Please send us your movies, or come talk to us if you haven't made a movie before and you're interested. Let us help you and enter the Fortnite Film Contest.
This is exactly that week.
This is exactly the time to do that. So we are here to support the arts, support our community, and we know that we can't do it without the support back. So it's a great time.
Great story to tell. Remind us again of the dates.
The Capital City Film Festival this year is April 2nd through 12th, happening at the Central United Methodist Church. Stage 1. Impression 5 expansion, and then some things happening over at the Robin Theater in Riotown and at the Avenue on Michigan Ave.
Oh, nice. Okay. And remind us of the website.
The website is ccff.co.
And you have a plea for sponsors still?
Yes,
always.
of course.
And volunteers.
And volunteers.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Anything else we've missed? It's a fabulous conversation. I think we touched them all.
You know, we could go for a really long time.
Yeah, it's a loaded question.
This is a short.
Thank you for having us, and we look forward to seeing you out at the festival this year.
Right on. Well, we've been talking to the folks from the award-winning Capital City Film Festival, festival director, event director Emma Selby, co-program director Jason Gabriel, and the president of the board, Samantha Lee. Best of luck to you. Congratulations on your 15th year. I suspect it's going to be a smash hit and the best one yet.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you there.
And I'd love to give a final shout out to all my loyal sponsors: Forsberg Real Estate, Wagner Financial, Triterra Environmental, Good Marketing, Keller Williams Advantage and Team, Michigan Rise, and the attorneys at Foster Swift. All fantastic people worth the call. And if you found the show as a one-off, I want to remind you to follow us and subscribe to Michigan Reimagined on YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and pretty much anywhere you find your podcast. This is Chris Buck signing off for Michigan Reimagined.